Hey, sport lovers! Today is Saturday, the 25th of May 2024, and yes, a whole lot of drama going on in the football world. This is street football, and I'm the phenomenal Cliffy, live here on BAM TV. The whole gist, everything that's happened from the last time I was seated in this chair, giving you the whole update till today, is actually what I'm going to be giving you. We'll go from in fact, let me just go straight to the point. No need to just drag it, keep everybody waiting. The final between Atlanta versus BAYERN LEVEKUSEN. Yeah, it was a very interesting match, and for the first time in the history of the Europa League, a Nigerian has made history, scoring a hat-trick in the Europa League final. It has never been done by any player in the whole world. We're talking about no other person than Ademola Lookman, our very own superstar, the person that actually proved for us in the African Cup of Nations a few months back that yes, he is a very wonderful and a very talented player. Despite the fact that he came short in that tournament, he still came back a few months later telling us that yes, he can do it, and he's a very good person. And right now, the whole speculations from every fan out there is that he is going to be among the top contenders to win the CAF Ballon d'Or, that's the African Best Footballer of the Year. And nobody was surprised because yes, despite the fact that Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen and the likes of Gorasi and the rest of them, they have done tremendously well, but no, this is actually Ademola Lookman, someone who has made history, and it's not something that you see every day. The guy is a very outstanding player, and yes, he proved the point on that particular night. And according to him, after the interview, he said, okay, it was a night for him to remember, the most important the most important night in his life as a football player, in fact, in his whole career. And yeah, he brought his mom and a lot of persons to come in and celebrate with him, and it was just very, very wonderful to watch. After the trophy was being handed over to them, don't forget, he went home not just with the man of the match award. He went with a football, that's a hat-trick football, which is given to every player that scores a hat-trick. And then yes, he went home with a gold medal, and he has a trophy to himself. And at the end of the match, we could see a whole team around him throwing him up yes, he was the hero of the night. And BAYERN LEVEKUSEN came short for the first time this season. After 51 games unbeaten, they fell short. They failed to score a particular goal in a football match. They have actually kept a very good run, but yes, Gasperini, that's the coach of Atlanta, like he said before the match, proved himself that yes, they are beatable, and he did it. Not just they couldn't even get one goal. They only had I think 2 shots. They were just 2 shots on target, and it was just a very interesting match to watch, because after the first goal, they were like, BAYERN LEVEKUSEN, yes, they're the king of comeback, and they're going to do something about it. Then came the second goal, and they were like, it's not too late. But the third goal also came up, and yeah, after that, it was just concluded that there was nothing to do about it, and they had the night. Then yeah, a whole lot of coaches moving from one end to the other. Well, before that, let me start from the very first one. I don't know what is going on with Barcelona, but just have a way of making a player or a coach feeling like yes, you're important, and at the end of the day, they just have to do away with you in a very shameful manner. Within the season, like around the mid-season, around January thereabouts, Javi Hernandez himself, that's the coach of Barcelona, he actually decided that he was going to leave the club at the end of the term or the end of the season, but the officials begged him to stay. And after everything, come the end of the season, despite everything he did for the club, and then yes, based on he is a legend in that particular football club, they still had to sack him. And then now it has been confirmed by every other transfer outlet there that they have appointed Hansi Flick as the head coach come next season. Although he's going to be starting up immediately Xavi leaves the place, that's after the round of 38 match, which is going to be this weekend in the La Liga, and Hansi Flick is going to be taking over and then handing over to maybe he's taking care of their transfers and everything. For now, Xavi will be leaving Barcelona at the end of the season, which obviously is just this week, and from next week we'll have a new head coach. And then yes, Liverpool as well in England have appointed none other than Arne Slot to take over their club, which already he has come in, and then yes, transfers will be taking care of him. He will be deciding on the players to bring in, and those he will be letting go. And then we have West Ham United, after David Moyes left, or David Moyes announced that he was going to retire as a club's coach. They have appointed no other person than Julian Lopetegui He's a very good manager. He has proven himself in Europe, and yes, they have appointed him as a new coach. Then comes the drama. The drama part of appointment of coaches. Yes, Bayern Munich coming for none other person. Actually, it has been rumored, although not confirmed, that they are vying for none other than Vincent Kompany. That's the Burnley coach, the coach who brought Burnley from relegation to the EPL, and right now he has gone back with them. But Bayern Munich rather have decided that they're going to appoint him as a new head coach, and discussions are going on in place, but right now it has not been finalized. But with everything going on, it seems yes, they have their man, and they are doing everything they can to get Vincent Kompany to cross over to Germany and then take charge of the club's affairs. It's going to be a bad one for Burnley though, because he proved his points. It's not like maybe he was not a good coach, he wasn't a bad coach, but he didn't get the material which was actually relevant for him to keep competing in the English Premier League. That's the top tier of the Premier League for the English football. But right now, yes, a top club has come for him, and as a coach, a manager who is actually coming up, I can't say no to that personally. And Vincent Kompany has actually opened the doors to Bayern Munich, and yes, his own, should I say, his agents and everybody are discussing matters which are very relevant at this point with the LEVEKUSEN, the Bayern Munich officials. I don't know what is up with me and LEVEKUSEN, although they are still bearing Bayern though, but all the same, Bayern Munich, Bayern LEVEKUSEN lost the match, and then yes, their unbeaten run has ended, although they still have a final to play and then prove a point that yes, they're a good side. But Bayern Munich finished woefully, and it is not what they expected, so they are trying to do everything to be back on the right track and then compete as a top European giant. Then we have none other than Chelsea and Manchester United in the English, or in England. Chelsea, I don't know, some people are saying he was sacked, some people are saying he left on mutual consent with the club. We're talking about no other person than Mauricio Pochettino. He actually ended his contract with Chelsea based on mutual consent. But yeah, some angry fans out there being like, that the ones that felt like yes, we've gotten the man, and he has actually has the formula to actually take this club forward, because Chelsea finished very, very strong. Don't forget, during the season they were way down compared to Manchester United, but they ended the season on a very strong note and above Manchester United. But at the end of the season, we're seeing Pochettino leave the club on mutual consent. Some of them are saying like, yeah, it wasn't a mutual consent thing, he was sacked, and then they just want to say it and all. But I just feel maybe everybody just feeling like, yes, we're just angry. You guys should do everything to keep a particular coach. You can't be sacking a coach from now to, like, in fact, for the past 4 seasons, Chelsea have changed nothing less than 5 coaches. 5. And yes, it's a normal thing with them, because from the time of Mourinho and immediately Mourinho left, they kept sacking coaches until they get the coach that will give them the right answer. When the formula is being ticked, or you have actually solved that puzzle and you don't want to keep it on track, that particular form is not really going on, they look for a way to do away with you and then bring in another person. And I don't think this is the case with Pochettino though, but he has actually said he can't continue with Chelsea, and then they resolved it on a mutual consent. And for now, Chelsea are in the market in search of a new manager, and one top name in the market right now as a coach is none other than the head coach of Ipswich Town, the person who has actually taken Ipswich from the League One back to the EPL for the first time in nothing less than 25 years. None other person than McKenna. And this McKenna is still the same person that Manchester United are still saying, okay, at the end of the season, whatever the case may be, if we are going to be sacking Erik ten Hag, then we should be bringing in McKenna. McKenna, in the other hand, was actually an assistant to no other person but Michael Carrick. That was when he was an interim coach at Manchester United. It was a very, like, nobody actually saw this coming, but he's actually proven the point that yes, I'm a very good coach and I can do it by bringing a club who has been relegated for years back to the top tier. That's the Barclays Premier League in England, and he is actually here to prove a point. But for now, it's just more like, I don't know if it's a good one for Ipswich or if it's a bad one for them. It's just a two-edged sword though. It decides on what McKenna wants, but nobody will see cake and go for buns. That's just the truth. You can't see cake and go for bread. So I believe McKenna knows the right thing to do, and as much as his own household or his agents are discussing it. They're going to do what is right for him and then make sure that at the end of the day, the right decision is being met. And Manchester United have a whole lot of coaches, like a list of coaches lined up, starting from Mauricio Pochettino, Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Frank of Brentford, and as well Kieran McKenna. These are the 4 coaches which Manchester United are hoping they can actually get after they do away with Erik ten Hag. But Erik ten Hag still have a way, or he has an escape route to avoid being sacked by the club. That's only and if he defeats Manchester City in the FA Cup final, which is actually today, playing against none other than Manchester United, who, don't forget, have been the champions of the English Premier League for the past 4 years, despite the fact that they have been having issues with a particular club, which most persons will see that they are just an assistant, or they call them the tenants, because they take care of the whole house until, or the caretakers, they take care of the trophy until when the time comes, they give way for Manchester City to take them. That's none other than Arsenal Football Club. But right now, as it is, Erik ten Hag has a way to prove a point against Manchester City in this FA Cup final, the Emirates FA Cup final. And it is actually a very big one because it's going to be very dramatic. And don't forget, it is a derby, a Manchester derby, which has always been very, very interesting to watch. And this same season, Manchester United has lost twice, home and away, to Manchester City. So Erik ten Hag, it's a very tough call for you to face, because already we have a lot of persons waiting, like they're actually aiming. In fact, they can actually do everything they can now to take you out of that position. Pochettino is there. We have Thomas Frank from Brentford. We have Thomas Tuchel, who just left Bayern Munich. And then, yes, Kieran McKenna. And for the whole football thing, La Liga will be wrapping up today. A whole lot of activities, and it's fun though. The football still goes on. And we have a whole lot of other finals. Don't forget, we still have the Champions League finals to play. And then there's the Japan Cup, which is going to be decided next week in Leverkusen also have another final to play this in, and that team has actually been very outstanding because they have actually played nothing less than 4. They competed in 4 competitions and they have reached the finals of 3, and they already won 2 rather. I beg your pardon. They won 2 already. They lost 1 to Atlanta, and then yes, they have another one at home. That's in their domestic domain to play against a club which is from the 2nd tier, because that club is actually not a club that everybody knows. Close, like something like KLAUS, and I think it's Klosterina. All those German names. I don't really think I pronounce it well, but I think it's a Klosterina, and the club is actually aiming to do something to upset Bayer Leverkusen, who have won the trophy for the first time in their history. And football, like I said, it's just a whole drama. Anything can happen. You don't say you're a big... I wouldn't be surprised that Manchester United defeats Manchester City today, and then we have a whole new phase come next season when they'll be competing for the Community Shield, the FA Community Shield. Manchester City versus Manchester United. But be it as it may, whatever happens today determines if Erik ten Hag is going to be at Manchester United next season, or if he is going to be let go. For today, that is just all I have for you on the football forum, or in fact the football world. This is just what has happened within this past week. Aside that, I think the transfer window has not been really open fully, which will be opening by God's grace June 14th, and every club can start buying. For now, there are actually speculations of a particular player trying to move, all that, vying for a particular player, this player going there, and then yes, the whole club feeling reluctant to let go of their star players, their star men. But you can't say what happens. With the right amount, every football player is going to fight for a move. And despite the fact that the prices have been very outrageous by the clubs, just imagine, for instance, now, no other than Alexander Isak, Newcastle United has slapped nothing less than £200 million as a tag on him. If not that amount, they are not willing to sell. Same thing applies to Bruno Guimaraes, which is more than £100 million. And every other club out there, nobody wants to let go of their star men, and they are not really in the position to negotiate. So the best way to do is, let's try to scare them off with the price tag. But when the whole transfer window opens fully, the whole gist I'll be giving you to you live here on BAM TV. Don't forget, stay tuned. This is a very wonderful place to be. Sporty foot, like anything football. The whole banter will be coming up. Like I said, for now, let's just take it bit by bit, and then follow the steps without missing any detail, so we keep ourselves updated. But when it's always going to come up, and then yes, we have the banter, we'll definitely hit the streets, and then we'll get 1 or 2 reactions from football fans out there. For today, that's all from the phenomenal Cliffy, and until the next time, live here on BAM TV, I'm saying shout out to you all out there, the football fans. Love you all, and stay glued to BAM.